Hi, today I have Allie with me, and we are going to do her first treatment on the LUVO Lucent using the IPL. So because Allie's not had a treatment before, we're gonna do a full consultation. I'm gonna ask her questions about her skin, how it responds to sunlight, what products she's currently using, what treatments she's done in the past, and then I'm going to give her a thorough description of what to expect during the treatment and how to take care of it afterwards. And then I also have Courtney here with us that's going to be assisting me throughout the day. So Allie, this is your first IPL, correct?
It is. That's great.
Okay, great. So Allie just told me that she has 2 kids, young kids, and you've never done a laser treatment before, correct?
No.
Awesome. Okay, main goal today is to target pigment.
Pigment, I think just like overall complexion.
Perfect.
And then, you know, I've got wrinkles, but that's for another time.
That's for another time. Okay, perfect. Well, IPL is the very best treatment for pigmentation. So although it's not a laser, it acts very similar to a laser. So it's multiple wavelengths of light that are attracted to not just pigment in the skin, but also vasculature. So gold standard to get rid of freckles, sunspots, broken capillaries, just overall kind of diffuse redness to the skin. So I think we matched you up with the very best device. This is a perfect time of the year to get an IPL because it's attracted to pigment. We don't want you to have any superficial sun exposure from the sun. Because we're in Utah and it's 10 degrees outside, we don't have to worry about that. So it uses a thermal response. So what it's going to feel like is sort of, have you ever had hair removal before?
No.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hottest thing you've ever felt, like a curling iron burn, this is a little snap of heat, maybe a 3, sometimes a 4 on more sensitive areas. The main thing is I don't want lingering heat in the skin. So, you know, like if you were to hit your forehead with a curling iron, that's lingering heat, right? Where you're going, dang, that really hurt for a good 10 to 20 seconds. So I'm going to really rely on you and your feedback of what you're feeling. So initially with each pulse, you're going to feel that snap, okay? Kind of a hot, like I said, snap of heat. It's going to have a little lingering tingle, but I don't want lingering heat. Okay. Our light guide is relatively large, a little bit even bigger than a Trident stick of gum. So just sort of like a little game of Tetris, I'm just going to stack this on top of each other. I can be done with your face in probably 10 minutes, but you let me know if you need me to go a little bit slower or give you a breather in between. So what the downtime is going to be like is your freckles are actually going to get darker over the next few hours. And they're going to almost look like coffee grinds or little specks of dirt on your skin. You'll even notice pigment coming up that maybe wasn't visible to the naked eye, but was definitely lying in the underlying layers of the skin. So I always joke that your first IPL is always going to be the best one. You're always going to be kind of chasing that first result that you got. That's because we have X amount of years of sun exposure, right? So all of that stuff is going to come up to the surface, exfoliate off over about the next 5 to 7 days or so, okay? You have young kids. I understand that downtime is something that is just kind of a luxury that us moms don't always have. Your kids can hug you, pull on you, nothing. They're not going to ruin anything. You're just going to, like I said, you're going to have some little spots that are on the face, and they might say, what's that dirt on your face? But you can totally go about your normal activities, go to the grocery store, do all that good stuff.
Awesome.
Any questions so far?
Do I need to keep my face covered like for those 7 days?
I want you to just keep it out of the direct sunlight. So even if you were to go skiing this weekend or whatnot, wear a hat, wear a physical SPF that has zinc or titanium. And as much as you can avoid the sun, I would like you to.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so we'll do a treatment today. I'm going to recommend that we do a series of 3. I want to see you every 4 weeks. If it gets pushed to 5 or 6 weeks out, that's totally fine. It's not going to ruin any results. So for the next few days, just take care of your skin like you've had a mild sunburn. Gentle cleanser, gentle moisturizer. Avoid your mechanical scrub, so anything with a granule in it. And go ahead and don't use any sort of topical like exfoliants like Retin-A or glycolic, just nice, gentle topicals.
Okay, and then I use a red light therapy, one of those big masks. Can I continue doing that, or should I pause?
Pause for at least 7 days.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Perfect. Okay, so do you have any makeup on?
I have no makeup on.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to keep your eyes covered with some little stickers. You still may see just a little bit of flash through those stickers. As long as your eyes are covered, we're totally fine. I'm going to use some cold gel with it, so I'll tell you exactly where I'm at, what I'm doing, and please just feel free to give me as much feedback as possible on heat sensation.
Okay.
Cool?
Awesome.
All right, go ahead and kick your legs up. I'm going to lower you back, get you cleaned up.
I have one other question. I have a thyroid disease.
Okay.
That sometimes like has to do with like dryness and hyperpigmentation. Is that anything that like I should be aware of? Like,
what is it exactly?
Hashimoto's, and then I take a synthetic like thyroid. Does that matter?
Well, as long as you don't have an active flare up of it right now, you should be just fine.
Okay, cool.
And it's under control?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
As much as it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll be fine.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Back a few inches.
Is this a popular service to do? Is it like new?
Extremely popular. It's probably one of the most popular technologies in clinics. And it's been around for quite a while.
Just imagining it in this spot. No one's yelling at me.
So Allie, next I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about your skin and how it responds to sunlight. So you haven't had any big trips where you've been out in the sun where you have tan lines that are still lingering?
No.
Okay. And if you and I were to go to the beach in August with no sunscreen on, how long would it take for you to get a sunburn?
Maybe like, I guess it would depend on my base tan, but maybe like an hour.
Okay.
I have like relatively olive skin tone.
You do. Agreed.
And I try and use a lot of SPF to protect it or put a hat on, but yeah, I can burn depending on the strength of the sun.
Okay, but I also bet that you could tan pretty well if you tried?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So skin type wise, and I'm also looking at the pigment in her eyes, the pigment in her hair. So Allie's, although she can probably get pretty fair in the wintertime, she's definitely not a Fitzpatrick 1 or 2, right? You can tell that she's got that nice olive complexion. So I'm going to absolutely categorize her as a skin type 3. And with IPL, we always want to work deeper layers first and then work our way more superficial. So I have a couple of different filters. Well, I've got 7 that I can choose from with this device, but one is including hair removal. So instead of using the 560, which is going to have a bit more absorption into melanin, I'm going to go up because of her skin type, and I'm going to start her with the 585. Using the 585 takes out some of that superficial melanin absorption. She also has some good vasculature to her skin, so I'm going to target not only brown but pink as well. I may do a second pass with the 560, but that's going to be dependent on what her skin looks like after I do the first pass with the 585 filter. So one thing that's nice about this device is with the interface, I already have my presets set in, and they're a starting point. If you'll hand me those settings over there, Courtney. So by telling the machine that she's a skin type 3, and by putting the 585 filter in, it's going to default to a double pulse with the fluence of 15 and a delay of 20 milliseconds. So it's going to give me 15 joules with a pulse width of 7 milliseconds, delay for 20, and then give me the rest of the energy. What that does is it gives the melanin time to cool down in between these sub pulses. But I always look at my settings to see not only my starting point, but my ending point. So where I can go as aggressive as 7 milliseconds for a delivery, 18 joules for my fluence, but I'm going to start off at 15. I have found that this device does a really nice job at its presets, and usually what it suggests, especially for a first treatment, is where I end up. So I can really trust this interface to guide me correctly. So again, 15 joules, double pulse, 7 milliseconds with a 20 millisecond delay. All right, so I'm going to, even though she doesn't have makeup on, I'm still going to just go over her face, making sure to just remove any sort of moisturizer. And the last thing that I do is cover her eyes. Turn you this way. So I'm going to do a couple of test spots on her cheek area, and she does have some freckling that I'm going to ask her if there's anything that she wants to keep on the skin. Oftentimes, if a freckle looks like a beauty mark, people want to keep it. So it's really important that we ask that, because if we don't, it's out of here. So based off of that, Allie, is there any freckles or anything on the face that you want to keep?
I love that you ask because I have these.
Okay. On the upper lip.
My mom calls me the Cindy Crawford.
There you go.
Beauty marks. So I love them.
Okay. So I'm going to avoid them. I'm going to even mark them out with white liner so I remember to not go over them. Okay, so when I'm doing her treatment visually, for me, I'm going to turn her face into a square, and I'm going to use some of the curves on the face as my markers. So I'm going to start at this lower lateral cheek, and I'm just going to work my way up. Then I'm going to move over one spot size, work my way up. Okay, so now I'm going to put the stickers on you. If she had false eyelashes on, I would not use these stickers, and I would use the metal eye shields.
Very low maintenance at this point in my life.
Well, with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old and working full time, I get it. Okay, I'm going to turn you this way, and then I'm going to put some cold gel on you. Gel. And any sort of hair that's in the line of fire will have absorption, so I make sure that I get any little pieces out of my way. Okay, 1 to 2 millimeters of gel. It moves as you go, so it's not an art project. It shouldn't take you just a second to put it on. And because she has some decent freckling, I should be able to see within a few minutes that pigment darkening up, and then I know that I am where I want to be. So just reiterating to Allie that this first one's going to kind of make you jump, okay? And let me know if you need a break, okay?
Can you start at a lower setting?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. All right, I'm just touching you, so I'm letting her know exactly what I'm doing. Again, because she can't see, and that just adds a whole other layer of, I think, just being nervous and never having this treatment before. My tip is nice and cold, so I'm using that to just go over the area, cool it down. All right, on the scale, or on a count of 3, I'm going to give you a little pulse. 1, 2, 3. And one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm going to just wipe that gel off, so just touching you here. Okay, how you feeling?
Good.
Make you jump a little bit?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the eyes being closed is definitely like a, ooh, okay.
It adds a whole other layer of anxiety, doesn't it?
Yep.
Are you just feeling a little tingle in that area? Feeling hot?
It's not bad. It feels fine.
Okay.
Not necessarily tingly. A little warm.
A little warm, but not hot.
No.
Okay. I'm already seeing a good tissue response, right? You see a little pink in her cheek there. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like almost hard to describe, like a little bit of numbness in heat.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're just watching you, staring at you.
And then after a week, do you notice like the pigmentation evening out?
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll notice, like, I always tell you to find a freckle and use that as your gauge freckle. So maybe like this one on the cheek, and watch it, and you'll literally get in the shower, get out, and your freckle's gone.
Yeah.
It's so satisfying.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've had, I was that person that sat out in the sun with baby oil on in my teens and 20s, and now as I approach 40, I'm like, ooh,
I shouldn't have done that.
I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So my kids are layered with, SPF 100
Of course.
now. And luckily I have boys, so they won't care.
Both boys, you said? 2 and 4?
4 and 6.
Oh, 4 and 6.
Yeah. Oh, thank God. Thank God to hear that.
I remember those days. Okay, nothing's getting any more red, right? It's kind of calming down. Courtney, do you even notice a little bit of that pigment there kind of coming through? So I like this setting, especially this is her first time. I want her to come back. So I'm going to stay here. All right, I'm going to just do my thing. You let me know if you need a break, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Good. You okay?
Just makes you drop.
Mm-hmm. One more. Great job.
Get a nice little smell.
Mm-hmm. Little hairs in the line of fire.
Will this fade? Like, will then your freckles come back that were there before? Or is it like new sunspots that you're getting?
They will not come back, no. And not unless you go out in the sun again unprotected.
Yeah.
Here we go. Just covering your lip here.
Yeah, good. beauty spot still there.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to cover that. There we go. Good. All right, already all done with that side.
Awesome. That was not bad.
Good.
You just jump. It's like, you know, getting waxed or something.
It's impossible to not jump.
Uh-huh. Yeah. But it's definitely not as bad as I
Anticipated? Yep.
Uh-huh.
Good.
Once you've given birth to a child.
It's all relative, isn't it?
Nothing's ever.
I totally agree. After having a baby, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
this doesn't hurt. You want to know what hurts?
Yeah, when I watch my husband get like his blood drawn, I'm like, oh God, come on.
Come
This is
on.
Are you seeing more men wanting to get services? Because I feel like I keep reading the interest of like men doing
100%.
these sorts of
Yeah,
procedures growing and growing.
for sure.
My husband has like beautiful skin, has never done anything to it. You know, doesn't. I guess he wears a hat all the time. That's his benefit.
Does he have darker skin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like he could be like Hispanic. Or like, people always think he's like Puerto Rican.
Yep. Well, darker skin has more melanin, right? So more just a natural protectant.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Here we go. When does he come back from out of town?
Thursday. Counting down the days.
So it'll be interesting
Oh yeah.
to see if he notices. I'll tell you, most of the time, men don't.
I was just gonna say, I think I could go blonde. And he would be like, did you paint your nails?
But that's the norm.
Yeah, which I actually appreciate sometimes. I'm like, you know what? Don't check the credit card. You'll have no
That's what they
idea.
notice, right?
Yep. But we'll see.
Okay, not going over your beauty mark. Good. These are a little spicier here. You're doing great.
Thank you.
Can I straighten you out? So now we've got this little area, right, that it didn't get on this side, didn't get on this side. So that's why I use my tongue depressor. Cover the area that I don't want to hit. Here we go. There you got it. Good.
I can already feel the addictive nature of these treatments. Once you get one, you're like,
Oh yeah, especially your first IPL. It's like, it's probably yields one of the best results. Just watching, you know, you said you're almost 40, right?
Yeah.
So watching 40 years of some damage come up is so incredibly satisfying.
And it's funny, you know, in my early 30s and my 20s, I loved like some of my freckles and stuff. And now as I've gotten older, I see like the aging that happens. And my complexion, I'm like, ooh, all those things that I really loved or that I thought made me so youthful when I was young, now, you know, it starts to turn and you're like, ooh,
Yep.
I actually don't like these freckles anymore. I'd love for my skin to be a little more even.
Yeah, and I've noticed for me at 40, just much more redness in my skin. And then
Yeah.
especially moving to Utah.
Oh gosh, the dryness and the
Oh.
lack of humidity. It's so. I moved here from Florida, and it was a
Oh,
really
okay.
hard adjustment. Like,
Same, from Texas, yeah.
you just are used to your skin sucking up all that moisture, and
Well, and you get so used to, here we go, humidity.
yep, very different process now.
It's a different world, yep. We're out in Florida.
Oh, Miami.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, very big difference from Utah.
Go.
But we love it.
It's such a great
It's
place.
great. It's
And to raise kids.
It's amazing.
Okay? Almost done, home stretch.
I feel the zaps a little more on that side.
Forehead's a little
Tender.
thinner. Turning a little bit. Just a couple more. I'm so excited to watch this process.
Me too.
Great job.
Easy peasy. Yeah, that wasn't good at all.
So based off of her amazing tissue response, right? We've got nice pinkness to her skin. I can already see these freckles getting a lot darker. There's really no reason that I would go in with another pass. I'm really using her tissue response as my gauge for that. And then I'm going to document to myself to next time consider using the 560 wavelength. But for today, I think this is, I couldn't ask for a better result. We've got lots of pigment coming up on this right side of the cheek that wasn't there before. So I think that you're going to really notice some underlining pigment coming up that you might have not noticed previously.
Great.
You a little spicy on your forehead or not too bad?
Not too bad. I mean, I feel it more along my hairline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming just the follicles and stuff there.
It's just
no,
thinner.
I
Yeah.
feel like I could go back to work, which I'm going.
It's, yeah.
And then you said just like light moisturizer.
Yeah.
No, like I have like microdermabrasion exfoliators, like nothing like that.
Not, nothing like that. Go ahead and pick that back up after about day 6 or 7, and that can help get some of that residual pigment that hasn't flaked off.
Okay. Cool.
But for 6 to 7 days, just let it be. And I really find that using a heavy emollient type moisturizer really helps to speed up the exfoliation process just by keeping it nice and hydrated. So just layer that on as much as you can.
And is that just like anything that's thicker?
Exactly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, since moving here, I just load on the moisturizer.
Oh, I load on the moisturizer and then cover it with something occlusive like an oil. I'm going to come find you after lunchtime because that's when we'll really see a lot of the
Awesome.
what we call peppering, which is the pigment getting darker. Okay, and then I want to see you in 4 weeks, like I said.
Awesome.
If it needs to be 5 or so, no worries. Okay, and if you'll take a picture of me these next few days, or picture of yourself, same room, same lighting, I want to see the process of this pigment coming up and coming off, okay?
Awesome.
All right, thank you. You did great.
So much. Thank you.